Okay, so let's get started. Hi everyone, my name is Daisha Denson, and I'm doing my strategy project on self-monitoring. So what is self-monitoring? So self-monitoring is a strategy that teaches students how to self-assess and track behavior, skills, or tasks. Self-monitoring can help increase or decrease a specific behavior while decreasing the need for teacher intervention. Um, Self-monitoring can work for many different students, and actually, I think it can work well in among all grade levels and even in adulthood. For students that might be easily distracted, who bother others, or even just having trouble stay on task. So, for example, if you have a student that is struggling to stay on task during independent work, I would try giving the student a checklist that can help, guide themselves through the process of independent work. Make sure it asks them questions like, did I read through my directions? Am I did I pay attention when the teacher was speaking? And they can learn to assess themselves. And from that point, is putting their monitoring onto them and allowing them to um, see where, okay, I might have not been paying attention, and they can mark that off and they can learn from it and do better. So, exactly what this is, let your students take your data, let them keep the track of their, progress or, their behavior, emotions, whatever it is. Did they stay on task for at least 10 minutes in the beginning of the day? Whatever goals that you set for them or skill sets that you set, and let them track it. And I do really recommend allowing your students to be involved in the, goal making part of this. So there's, a few steps when it comes to putting self-monitoring in place. So the first step in the process would get your baseline data. This is data that you collect as a teacher. You don't, the student will obviously be collecting the data from there and on there. So the baseline is just a reference to, where the student is right now. What things are we working on? So to start with your students, you define, you know, the identified behavior task or um, goal that you want your student to achieve, and allow the student, as I said before, to be involved and engaged in building this strategy and process. Have the student model and identify the behavior task or skill, and then you as the educator model the desired behavior. I really, as we've said in many other classes, we don't like to model the bad behavior or behavior we don't want the kids to have. Always go shoot for modeling the behavior, the desired behavior. Then you should explain to the student how you want them to record the behavior. It can be a tally system, a yes or no. It can be like a running checklist, you can use anchor charts, tally systems, questions, things like that. This is like an example of one of those things that you can hand out at the beginning of the week and have the student keep up with. It's really simple. Um, Things like here, like, did I act appropriately today in class, at lunch, and at recess? They do yes and no. You can get more specific. If you want to get specific with a particular student, or this can be just something you give to the whole class, but say if you have a specific student that you want, you can cater these lessons to them. Like, did I stay on task for at least 10 minutes during the start of the day? Did I raise my hand before leaving my seat? XYZ, and have kids write it down. And this is just another anchor chart that, I think everybody should put in the classroom. It's just about, feelings, emotions, is something that can really be helpful with self-monitoring. When kids are able to identify their emotions and feelings on things, it really helps them get to the, okay, so yeah, I know that I'm upset, and and then that's why I was acting up today. And they can be able to dig deeper into, how they're feeling. Some kids don't understand their emotions, so sometimes they're just really frustrated or, upset or just sad that day, and that's the reason behind that behavior. So we as educators, we should look deeper into that, and self-monitoring skills can help with all of that. So in closing, so when you're thinking about implementing self-monitoring skills into your classroom or with a specific student, you got to make sure you have goals and I would say very specific goals in place and time frame. Same like if we're making an IEP goal, you make them specific to the child. If it's something that is specific to the child, like a behavior issue, or if they're having trouble staying on task, or they're bothering other students, make sure you make it very specific to them so they can students are able to be reflective. And another thing, I know we're putting a lot of things onto the child. That's what self monitoring is, but still check in with them, and refer to your baseline data. And you say, "Oh, you're doing so much better," or "We still have to work on things in this area." It's a good way to have these little conferences with the kids that in between to make sure they're staying on track with it, or if you need to make some changes to it. Because sometimes every strategy does not work for every student. So you have to sometimes go out and, diverge and look into other things that will fit a particular student. That is all for this presentation, I believe. So thank everyone. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to stop recording.